Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video, and this is episode number 13 of Zero to Hero at a very damp and wet Malaysian Grand Prix. As you can see, we've got the overcast conditions with a little bit of rain, and that means we're going to be starting the race on the intermediate tyres. Now, hopefully you guys did watch the last episode in Singapore. If you didn't, then I do urge you to go watch that race. It was an absolutely incredible race, and one of the most fun races I've had around Singapore in a long time. But a bit of a spoiler alert. Last time out of Singapore, obviously we came home in second place, so therefore we've got the two upgrades, and one of them, I believe, was the ballast, but the other one was the no first lap overtakes Joker card. So basically, obviously it's very simple, we can't overtake on the entirety of the first lap here at the Malaysian Grand Prix, so it's going to be a very long first lap here, especially in the wet, so I'm going to have to make up all of my positions in terms of just raw pace and overall speed around this circuit. Now I can tell you, based off of practice, the car is handling absolutely beautifully around here, and there is some solid pace in the car, and I think we can do some solid damage here. And also, you know, the rain gods have blessed us with a little bit of rain, so if we're lucky and we get the strategy right, then if it gets wetter, or maybe if it dries out, either or, then hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get the strategy spot on and try and gain some time, because obviously if it gets wetter than this, then we can strap on the full wets and try and make some sort of undercut possibly, or vice versa if it went to dry. Now, as you can see, the race has gone underway now, making our way to the first corner, and I would have cut off by now, but the thing is, something strange happened here. Now, I don't know what you guys think about this in the comments, but I just went with it at the time. But as you can see now, going through turn 2, there's a bit of a crash, as you can see, yellow flag, and everyone's sort of got tangled up, and I'm just not overtaking, like I said I wouldn't do. But if you look on the right hand side, Palmer's pulled off there on the right. Now Alonso spun out, so I basically overtook those two because they were involved in the tangle, so to speak. Now, I continued on. I'm still in 18th place behind both of the Manners, but Palmer and Alonso, for some reason, they got going eventually. For some reason, they were off the track there. So, either way, here we are now, and we're actually overtaking as we go on to lap 2, as we pass Haryanto, and also we're going to pass Verline into the first corner. Double overtake on both of the Manners into the braking zone there. Nice easy move on both of those cars, and we get ourselves up into P16 early on. And as we move later on to lap 4, if you just saw on the right hand side there, Carlos Sainz actually retired from the race. He pulled off on the right hand side there, so that promotes us up into P15, and exactly one lap later in the exact same place, we're on the back of Marcus Ericsson here, and can we possibly pick him up here in the braking zone for possibly P15 as we get nice and late on the brakes up the inside of the Swedish driver, and it's a fairly easy move up the inside of the hairpin to get us up into P15, and we're now chasing down Jenson Button, and if we can get past this little train of cars, as you can see, I think it's being led by Toro Rosso, I believe, then we should be in good shape for the rest of the race. Now, as you can see, Button's right there ahead of us as we go now through this, the two best corners on the track, my personal favourites, the left-right chicane, and we're going to go up the inside of Button, and also Hulkenberg here. We're going to have a sniff up the inside of the German driver, and we do actually make the move there, so Hulkenberg leaving it fairly easy for me to make the pass on him there, so not really putting up much of a fight. So that has got us up into P12 as we move on to lap 6, and we're right on the back of Hulkenberg's teammate Sergio Perez here as we go through the left-right chicane of turns 5 and 6, I believe, and now into the double apex right-hander, the exact same place where we prepared the move on Marcus Ericsson a lap ago, and it looks like we're going to try and pull off another one here, possibly into the braking zone of the hairpin. We're going to go to the inside, get nice and late on the brakes, slide one up the inside of Perez there, a nice easy move. So up into 11th now, I'm really one position away from some points already this race, so solid progress so far here at the Malaysian Grand Prix, and we're now right on the back of Felipe Nasr as we prepare ourselves for the braking point of the penultimate corner, and I'm going to run in purposely deep on purpose, as you can see, and we almost clipped his rear wing. Actually, I almost got that completely wrong and misjudged the braking point, but we ran in a little bit deep on purpose to set ourselves up for a much better exit. As you can see, looking at this beautiful helicopter shot, we're picking up a slipstream here on Nasr. We're just going to pull to the inside and go for the late braking move into turn 1, as you can see, going for the early apex and then force Nasr out wide there, as you can see, making him literally steer the other way to try and avoid us, and we make the move into P10 for some points. And meanwhile, Danny Kvyat out there running a little bit wide through turn 2, which sets us right onto the back of him, as you can see, going downhill through turn 3, and we're going to wait for the braking point of turn 4. But look at the slipstream we've got on Kvyat here. We're just going to pull to the inside and make a nice easy move up the inside of turn 4 to get ourselves up into P9, and so far solid progress. To say we lost so much time on that first lap, and our recovery drive is going quite nicely at the moment as we move on to the end of lap 7, and we've got the first couple of pit stops. As you can see, Magnussen on the right hand side, they're coming in for his first stop of the race, and I believe Felipe Massa is also pitting there as well, so two positions that we're going to gain, and we're going to stay out for a couple more laps here on these intermediates up until about lap 9, I believe, onto the start of lap 10. So moving later on onto the start of lap 9, and this should be the lap that we're pitting. But meanwhile, we've got a few more people in the pits, including Nico Rosberg, the championship leader, so keep an eye on him because he could be someone that we could be challenging for this race as we move later on to the end of lap 9. And now we're coming in for our first stop of the race. As you see, just behind Daniel Ricciardo there ahead of us, the Honey Badger, and hopefully we can have a fairly quick stop. As you can see, Ricciardo pulls into his box. I'm going to pull into mine a little bit further down, and fingers crossed Fry give me a good stop, and we're going to go into another set of intermediate tyres. It looks like we've been held up a little bit. It looks like Vettel could have been in the pits possibly, so we've lost a little bit of time, and it's not the first time that's happened this season. We've had this obviously in other races. I believe in Spain stands out quite a lot. I think it was Spain. Was it Spain? I'm not sure, but one of the races stands out quite vividly for a terrible race in terms of pit stops, and that was yet another one, a 4.1 pit stop there. Not really doing us any favours whatsoever, but we're going to move on to lap 11, as you can see, and a couple more cars have come into the pit lane, and we're back up into P8, and we're now on the back of Max Verstappen, who's just come out of the pits this lap, so he's on cold intermediates, and I'm all over the back of him here. And can we possibly try and pull up a move here? As you see, getting the beautiful slipstream, pulling to the inside, similar to the Danny Kvyat move a few laps ago. I'm just going to go up the inside of turn 4, nice and easy there on the Dutch driver. So now up into P7, and now we can try and hunt down Daniel Ricciardo, who's the man that we was trying to hunt down before that horrible pit stop. So as you can see now on the end of lap 13, we're all over the back of the Honey Badger, picking up some slipstream on the back straight, dummy to the left, sorry, dummy to the right, and then go to the left. And as we go up the inside of the final corner in the braking zone there, and Ricciardo not really putting much of a fight. He tries to outbrake us to try and pull off a switchback possibly, but there's no room through, and we make the move there quite easily on the Australian driver. And meanwhile, as we move on to lap 15, you can see Rosberg there has just pit that lap, so he's dropping down the order, so keep an eye on that while Rosberg pits. As you can see, meanwhile, Bottas is right ahead of us here on lap 15, and we're going to try and pick him up for a move possibly as we switch back on him through turn 2 there. Lovely move, and we're now going to go side by side with Bottas through turn 3, as you can see, picking up a traction, and there's been contact. I've actually been spun out. Bottas spins me out onto the gravel, and we're backwards at turn 3, so a bit of controversy again, similar to Singapore, where me and Rosberg had contact in the last race on literally the last lap. Bottas now has spun me out, and as you can see, I'm having to recover, doing almost 150 k's on the grass, and we're going to recover to P6, so not too much time lost there, but you know, it could have been a lot worse. I could have lost the front wing or had a puncture or something, but we're going to look at a replay, and as you can see, Bottas there now, right about now, he runs out stupidly wide for some reason. He decides, if you look at the steering wheel stays straight through that corner for some reason, so Bottas really swinging the car out, and we just sort of clipped wheels. Now, you guys let me know in the comments whose fault you thought that was, but I personally thought I did nothing wrong there. But as you can see, moving on to the start of lap 18, and Nico Rosberg, who was in almost an entire pit stop behind us because of that crash with Bottas, he's caught back up to us, and he's going to re-overtake us. As you can see, a nice easy move there from Nico Rosberg. I'm going to try and dive one back up the inside of turn 1. Can I make it stick? It's going to be so close, almost contact there between the two of us. Rosberg still on my inside as we go through turn 2, and now there's contact as Rosberg runs in stupidly deep, almost wanting to repay the favour from Singapore for what happened in that race, and he eventually gets the move there for P4. But I'm going to roll the dice, guys. At the end of lap 18, cars are pitting for intermediates, but I'm going to roll the dice. I feel like the track is dry enough, so I'm going to go onto a set of dry tyres, and we're going to go to set of mediums, and I'm going to take these to the end. 10 laps is a bit of a stretch, but I think overall the pace I'll have on the mediums is going to be far more rewarding. So we're going to come in and we're going to go into a set of white wall medium tyres, as you can see there, and this is where the big balls come into play. It's going to be risky business here on this damp track at Malaysia, but I really need to get a result here. Obviously that first lap has really compromised me, and that incident with Bottas even more, so I need to win this race, or at least get myself onto the podium to not have any sort of downgrades or lose points to Rosberg in the championship. There is a lot of pressure on this race to try and at least maintain a solid base of points for the World Drivers' Championship. And moving later on that lap onto the end of lap 19, you can see now as we go through the chicane, Button is on intermediates, and look at the grip difference I have as I launch one up the inside of Panama corner. And I think, guys, I've got this call absolutely spot on. I can tell you from the second I left the pit lane, the car felt absolutely planted. And as you can see, we're currently in P8, but everyone is in the pit lane at the moment, absolutely everybody, as we set the fastest final sector of the Grand Prix. And look at this, we're going to come out in the lead of the race. So what a brilliant strategy call that was from us. We rolled the dice, we've made it stick, and we've taken the lead of the race there. So an absolute quality strategy call, definitely the best one I've made in all time. I've never made such a good strategy call in my life. That was absolutely perfectly timed. You could not have got it any better. But moving all the way on to lap 26 now, and these medium tyres are starting to get a little bit worn now, and Rosberg on the newer option tyres has actually got more grip than me, especially on the rear tyres, because the rears are really starting to suffer around here. And as you can see, Rosberg overtakes us for the lead of the race, but I'm not going to have none of it up into rich mix. I'm going to try and dive one up the inside of the first corner here, side by side, almost contact once again. I'm going to run out purposely wide here to avoid what happened last time and squeeze Rosberg a little bit to hope that he backs out of it, and that's exactly what he does. As you can see, we keep Rosberg behind us for the time being, getting a little bit of a squirmy exit there through turn 2, and Rosberg is all over the back of us still, as you can see, and he's going to try and pick up some slipstream. He's going to try and go to the outside of turn 4. He's going to try and make the move there, but I'm just going to hold him up the inside there, make sure he doesn't make the move on us there for first place. So we're going to hold on to this. We're going to try and our absolute hardest to hold on to first place, because this is going to be a massive 25 points if we can hold on to this for the championship. And as you can see now, on the end of lap 27, Rosberg is coming back at us again with some DRS. I'm going to force him to the outside once again into the final corner. I'm going to run out a little bit wide on purpose to try and squeeze him, but he's having absolutely none of it. As you can see, look at the traction Rosberg's got on the racing line around the outside, and he's got so much more speed than me. I'm picking up some slipstream once again. It's going to be a carbon copy of the last lap. As you can see, now moving on to lap 28, the final lap of the race. I'm going to try and look up the inside, but there's no room through this time, as Rosberg gets great braking into turn 1 there, and I can't match him on the brakes, but I'm going to try and dive one up the inside of turn 2. A little bit of contact there between the two of us. Rosberg gets a little bit of a shaky exit, and I'm actually going to go around the outside of him here. Flashback to when I went past Bottas around the outside, and there was contact. As you can see, side by side up into rich mix now, and we're going to try and go to turn 4. Who's going to brake latest? Rosberg's going to have the edge, but I'm going to switch back on him there. Absolutely beautiful there. Great traction on the exit, and we make the move on Rosberg to retake the lead of the race on the last lap here, and moving onto the penultimate, literally the penultimate corner now. As you can see, you're going to go in this back straight for the final time. My tyres, look at the rear ones, absolutely shot. They're orange and just shot to bits, and Rosberg's coming out with some DRS. I'm going to force him to the inside, give him a good old squeeze there into the final corner now on the last lap. Rosberg's still on my inside. Can I hold it around the outside? No, I can't. Rosberg's just going to get the edge on me, and it's looking like Rosberg's going to win the Malaysian Grand Prix, and that is not what we wanted. And unfortunately, the tyres really just sort of gave way at the end there. I really could not match Rosberg. He was basically he was too fast. I could only keep him behind me for so long, and unfortunately Rosberg wins the Malaysian Grand Prix there with Max Verstappen. Even though it's Danny Kvyat, wink wink, it's actually Max Verstappen on the podium. But overall, not too bad. 18 points to say that I got spun out by Bottas and had no first lap overtakes, and we lost a lot of time there because of that incident with Palmer and Alonso on the first corner. So overall, a really solid race, and I think I'll be quite happy with that. I think that's some solid points, and Rosberg's going to extend his lead by only 7 points, so that's not too bad. It's not the end of the world, but Rosberg is looking really, really strong in this championship. I've got to say, Rosberg looking like a real threat, and it's going to be really hard for me to win this championship. But looking at some results, as you can see, it looks like Vettel finished in P6 there, so a terrible result for him, and Lewis Hamilton down in P8 there, so a couple of shocking results for the World Drivers' Championship for those two. But looking at Sharp, and as you can see, both of the Red Bulls in 3rd and 4th, so a great race for them. And Felipe Massa also up there in 5th place, and Kevin Magnussen getting some points also for Renault. So a very interesting top 10 there in terms of the race results. But we're going to move into the Drivers' Championship, because this is where it gets tasty. As you can see, Rosberg is now 18 points ahead, and he is a whopping 65 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton in the championship, and 42 points ahead of Rosberg. So with about 6 races to go, Rosberg really putting the hammer down, and a statement of intent that he wants to win this World Drivers' Championship. And Rosberg really showing a message that Hamilton and Vettel really need to up their game, because I'm still hanging in there just about 18 points, but those two are really slacking behind. Meanwhile, looking at constructors, Mercedes have cut down our lead in the constructors to 5 points, so Ferrari just about ahead of Mercedes for now. But we're going to move into the permutations, and as you can see, 2nd place means we get 2 spins of the wheel. So just like last race, we're going to spin the wheel twice and see what we get here. So hopefully it's not something too bad. We can get something decent for once, and we're going to get the front camber, which is pretty decent. That's a pretty solid upgrade for the first one. Now let's see if we can try and possibly one up that and get the front wing. That would be absolutely fantastic. But no, it's looking like we're going to get the no first lap overtakes again for the 2nd race in succession. So a bit of an unfortunate one there, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm absolutely just so thrilled at this series. You know, I'm glad that I've done the series. You know, it's a bit tiring to make, but you guys who do watch it are really loving the series, and I'm really enjoying making these videos, especially when I see the finished product. But hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Please do smash that like button if you did enjoy this video. Let's try and see if we can try and hit maybe 90 likes. I'm going to set an ambitious target. And also, if you're new around here, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.